Chapter 21, You Won't Do, Too Ugly Already. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outyin. Qin Qingren called out once again. Displeased did not appear on his face. Long Outyin regained back his conscience and apologized. Grandpa Qin, I apologize, I was just too astonished. Yutong is just too beautiful already. As Qin Yutong's mother, Zihan said tenderly, Outyin is so talented, it is a pity that my Yutong won't be able to have the fortune. Long Outyin felt extremely great. Mother.in.law, no need to be that courteous, Long Outyin can take in both of them. Qin Yutong took a glance at this man despisingly and let out a ridiculing snort. This expression, this snort, she simply resembles a lot like Qinya. That's right, Outyin, why didn't you come together with Qinya? Wang Muqing asked with concern. It must be said that Qinya's father, Qin Huaxian, has very good taste. Both of his wives were extremely beautiful, even at this age. If they were to just dress up for a bit, when they go out together, they would definitely look just like sisters. Just a look and one would be able to see that Qin Huaxian was a man who knew how to enjoy his life. Long Outyin paused for a moment and said, Qinya has been busy with work those days. She had me to come to accompany you all first, and she will come later on. Actually, I saw big sister coming together with a man. Qin Yutong said all of a sudden, and immediately, it caused Long Outyin's expression to sink. Qin Huaxuan's gaze sunk, a man. That's right, the man looks quite good too, more handsome compared to him. Qin Yutong pointed towards Long Outyin and said, and the latter had the feeling of wanting to kill someone. I am an immortal doctor, I can treat someone with my left hand, and kill someone with my right hand. Who actually dares to steal a woman of mine? And the man is actually more handsome than me, he must die. Wang Muqing's face immediately became cold. Seems like this point of Qinya was inherited by her mother. Outyin, don't worry, Qinya, this child is just obstinate, the man is probably some actor which she hired. Long Outyin thought to himself, the man better be an actor that she hired, if not. What are you all talking about? Yaya brought a grandson.in.law home over for me, where is he? A grandma could be seen shouting excitedly and looking at her left and right. This grandma was Qinya's grandma, Mei Xuanhuan. Mei Xuanhuan has severe senile dementia, and sometimes she would not even recognize her own husband Qin Qingren. Her two granddaughters were the only exception where she would always be able to recognize. Grandma's words were just like a few pair of sharp swords stabbing into Long Outyin's heart. Your grandson.in.law is sitting right in front of you, and you actually asked where is he. However, grandma's senile dementia is a bit severe, I am not able to cure it immediately and have to slowly treat her. You all are bluffing me, I did not see my grandson.in.law at all. Stab, 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 Long Outyin was about to become a hedgehog already. Mom, Qinya's fiancé is sitting right in front of you. Wang Muqing held onto her mom's arm and said. Impossible, my grandson.in.law is not that ugly like him. Mei Xuanhuan pouted her mouth and said with a face full of disdain. Long Outyin's face was already green now. Just what is wrong with today? I am the one who should be today's lead. This must be a test given to me by heaven, I cannot get angry, smile, smile. Mei Xuanhuan couldn't stand to continue looking at Long Outyin anymore, just who are you, smiling that unsightly? Qin Yutong let out a bunch of laughter, grandma sure is powerful, killing people without spilling blood. Zihan glared at her daughter, the atmosphere is not good already and you still laugh. Qin Qingren said embarrassedly, Outyin, don't take it to mind, you also know my wife's senile dementia. With a forced smile, Long Outyin said, Grandpa Qing, be at ease, I will definitely cure grandma's senile dementia. Qin Qingren was very gratified, to have a grandson.in.law like this, I will also be able to feel much more at ease. Qin Yutong could be seen walking to behind her grandma, then saying, Grandma, I saw big sister's man just now, he looks super handsome. Really? Mei Xuanhuan was just like a child and asked happily. Of course, when has Yutong ever lied to you? Mei Xuanhuan said happily, that's great, Yutong, when will you two give birth to a great-grandson for grandma? Everyone all suddenly became silent. That will only be possible if brother.in.law is willing first. Qin Yutong said forthrightly, once again causing everyone to become dumbstruck, especially Long Outyan. Fuck. What kind of plot is this? Qin Huaxian shouted out coldly, Qin Yutong. What are you even saying? Look at your behavior right now, if I had known, I wouldn't have let you enter into the entertainment industry. Qin Yutong did not approve of what her father said and spread out her hands and said, Dad, if you can marry two people, why can't others marry two people too? Scoundrel. You repeat that again. Qin Huaxian became flushed with anger. Towards him having two wives, those two daughters of his both had their own prejudice. Ever since they started studying university, the number of times that either of them came home in a year could be counted with just one hand. Yutong, your dad is angry already, don't anger him anymore. Zi Han reprimanded her daughter. This kind of scenario would happen at least once every time they all met up. Long Outyan felt that what Qin Yutong said was right. A man who has capability should marry more than one woman. Father.in.law, aren't you the same too? Qin Qingren shouted out, behave. Asking you all to come back to eat dinner this time, it should be a happy occasion, and not listening to you all quarrel. Every family has its own problems, Qing family was the same too. Ao Tian, don't take it to mind. Qin Huaxian smiled towards Long Outyan. This child is much more sensible. I understand, I understand. Long Outyan said humbly, obtaining Qin Huaxuan's favorable impression. Only a man would be able to understand another man. If Qin Huaxian knew that this Long Outyan was thinking of getting both of his daughters, who knows if he would still have the same mindset. Qin Yutong mumbled softly, men are all the same. Right at this moment, the double door of the living room was pushed open, and Yi Hua's and Qin Ya's figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Dumbstruck. My grandson.in.law is here, my grandson.in.law is here. Mei Xuanhuan could be seen shouting loudly, pulling everyone back from their astonishment. Awkwardness filled within the air. Yi Hua looked at everyone indifferently, and when he heard the words the grandma shouted out, he wished that he could throw a magic over at her. Grandson.in.law, you are thinking too much already grandma. Under everyone's astonished gaze, Qin Yip brought Yi Hua to the middle and carefully introduced, his name is Yi Hua, my husband. Hello brother.in.law, without waiting for everyone to regain back their composure, Qin Yutong immediately jumped out and be the first to admit Yi Hua's identity. The reason she did that was because she simply wanted to see her father getting angry, and the best would be that her father flies into a rage, thus, she temporarily came to a mutual consensus with her big sister. Yi Hua sized up Qin Yutong for a bit. I do not feel as excited as I imagined I would. Seeing her in person, there is a very large difference compared to seeing her on the TV screen. Although her figure is not bad, her outfit is somewhat lacking in appeal, this point of Qinya is better compared to her. If she was to request, I may perhaps give her a chance, count it as a kind of recognition of me towards her. Qin Yutong saw disdain from within this man's eyes, and even more, she even saw pity appearing in his eyes. Fuck. What is this situation? This man is even more boastful than that Long Outyan. Qinya, do you know just what you are saying right now? Wang Muqing stood up and shouted. This daughter of mine is getting more and more impudent, she actually really hired an actor back home. Qin Qingren saw Long Outyan whose complexion was ashen and said with a smile, Outyan, Qinya is just joking, don't take it to mind. Long Outyan restrained the anger in his heart, he really wanted to leave in anger, but he did not. In situations like this, the more that I have to be able to stay calm. However, why did the Qinya today become so much more beautiful, I really want to drag her to the room and seal the deal with her. Chapter 22, Childish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Grandpa Qing, be at ease, I'm well aware of the situation. Long Outyen said magnanimously, seemingly as if he totally did not take it to heart at all. Qing Qingren laughed heartily, as expect of old Long's grandson, outstanding. Qingya, you take a look at Outyen, look at how sensible he is, and then take a look at yourself, setting up some small cheap tricks. Wang Muqing reprimanded. Zihan also followed after and said, that's right, Qingya, Outyen, this child is really not bad, why do you not feel anything for him? As Qingya's father, Qing Huaxian was already angered to the point that he wasn't able to speak out anything. When I meet with those two daughters of mine, my heart disease would guarantee to start acting up. Luckily my heart disease was cured by Long Outyen. Qingya seemed to be not intending to light out her trump cards. Looking at her little sister, she said with a smile, since it just so happens that little sister came home today, Grandpa, how about letting little sister marry Long Outyen instead? Qin Yutong went into a daze for a moment, and in the next moment, her pretty face immediately changed into a face of grievance. As expected of a best actress. Big sister, you can't be like this, to actually want to let your little sister jump into a fire pit right after you had jumped out of it yourself. How about we exchange instead, you give me brother.in.law, and you can be together with Long Outyen. Long Outyen nearly spat out blood. You all actually humiliate me like this. This is unforgivable. Enough. Qin Huaxian slammed onto the table and shouted. Family shames. Family shames. Huaxian. The two wives called out worriedly. At this moment, with the help of her crutches, Mei Xuanhuan walked over to Yi Hua's side and said with satisfaction, young man, you sure are handsome, treat Qingya well in the future. Mei Xuanhuan pulled over Qin Yutong who was at the side and placed Qin Yutong's tender small hand onto Yi Hua's big hand. You all have to live well, Grandma is optimistic about you all. The living room was totally silent, and Long Outyen's complexion was beginning to turn white. Ever since this man entered into the living room, he did not even said a single word, and has already held on to the hand of both of my future wives. This is intolerable. Wait, incorrect. This man's existence is for me to use to act cool. The situation will definitely turn for the better later on. It will definitely be that, later on, I will expose his plot, and afterward, the both of them will look at me in a new light, and from then on, I will walk towards the peak of my life. Muqing, carry Mom inside to rest. Qing Huaxian could not stand it anymore, it is getting messier and messier. Wang Muqing and Zihan immediately held on to Mei Xuanhuang's arms and leave the room, and Mei Zunshang just kept on reminding repeatedly, you all have to live well, okay, Grandma will come again later on. Qingya looked at Yi Hua and her little sister very unhappily and said in a low voice, what are you two doing? Still don't let go of each other's hand. Qin Yutong pouted her mouth, it is Grandma who placed my hand onto his hand, not me. Yi Hua did not understand them. Humans' world sure is complicated, what is there that cannot be solved by using force? On the other hand, this sister.in.law of mine is interesting. Yi Hua asked indifferently, what were you trying to tell me when you drew circles on my palm just now? Right now, even Qingya was stupefied. Not only was Qingya stupefied, but even Qin Yutong was also stupefied too. He actually said it out. I only wanted to tease this brother. In law of mine for a bit and let big sister know that all man cannot withstand temptation, but in the end, this man acted out differently from what I expected and immediately betrayed me. Long Outyen's complexion turned from white to red, as he thought to himself, there will definitely be a reversal, later on. Luckily, Qin Yutong was quick-witted, she hurriedly explained, actually, what I wanted to say was that, when did you two married, and how are your preparations with the wedding rings going? Don't need you to worry about it. Qingya replied indifferently. As a little sister, how can I not worry about my big sister's big wedding? Aren't I right, brother? Law. Qin Yutong was rather lively. Before today, Yi Hua had only seen the Qin Yutong that was on the TV screen, who was somewhat aloof. He didn't expect that the Qin Yutong, in reality, was that different compared to the Qin Yutong in the TV screen. He was very disappointed. There is indeed no need for you to worry. Yi Hua replied indifferently. Fuck, this brother. Law really doesn't even bother giving me a bit of face at all. Qinya, on the other hand, was feeling very great. Seems like Yi Hua is standing on my side. I will count that you are a man. Qin Qingren coughed lightly and said, alright, don't act anymore, since you are here already, you are counted as a guest. You can leave after the meal. Qin family was a prestigious family after all, the etiquette that they should have it. Visitors are guests, as long as he doesn't do anything out of line, letting him have a meal is counted as nothing. What's more, this man could have also been forced to come here by Qinya too. Qinya did not explain anything, seemingly having a much deeper intention. This made everyone all thought that Qinya had given up on resisting. However, Qin Yutong did not think like that. I understand this big sister of mine very well, she is indeed very obedient sometimes, but when she starts being obstinate, 10 Thanos also wouldn't be able to defeat her. Since she brought a man over, she definitely has a trick hidden in her sleeve, just that she doesn't intend to use it now. Look at everyone's reaction, they have all ease up, especially Long Outyan. I suddenly discovered that this man is really pitiful, to get played around like that by Big Sister. I reckon that later on when Big Sister reveals out her trump card, this Long Outyan would have to be carried away by the ambulance. Big Sister's ailment of loving to act cool still hasn't changed at all. Yi Hua did not want to say too much and waste the oxygen in the air. Brother. Law, what is your astrological sign? For the purpose of testing out her big sister, Qin Yutong took the initiative to attack. Yi Hua sat on the sofa and assumed the posture of a big boss. Upon hearing Qin Yutong's question, he replied indifferently, childish. Qinya, who was sitting across Yi Hua, laughed out. This man will strike at you to the point that you feel that you have not a single good point at all. I didn't expect that the woman that I had an eye for would actually ask such a stupid question like that, she is simply even much more stupid compared to Qinya. And to think that I actually was thinking about bestowing her one night with me, seems like there is no need for that already. She is indeed quite childish. Qinya didn't forget to attack Qin Yutong. Good job, Yi Hua. Qin Yutong was angered to the point that her small face became red. With a snort, she sat at one side and did not speak anymore. And Yi Hua was finally able to be in peace. Long Outyan adjusted his collar. It is time for my turn. This man will become my tool for acting cool, all novels are written like this. How much did Qinya hire you for? Long Outyan asked curiously. Qinya peeled a tangerine and passed half of it over to her grandpa. Qin Qingren even thought that her granddaughter had finally come around, and thus took the tangerine over and said petulantly, it is okay to just anger Long Outyan for a bit, just don't overdo it. Grandpa, I'm well aware of the situation. Qinya smiled. This made Qin Qingren finally felt at ease, my granddaughter is finally sensible. And as for Yi Hua, he was very unhappy. As my woman, you actually peeled a fruit for another man to eat. It won't do even if he is your grandpa. Yi Hua took out a cigarette and lighted it up. This action made both Qin Qingren and Qin Huaxian frown, this man is a bit arrogant. When Long Outyan saw Yi Hua acting cool like this, he smiled. To actually assume the sitting posture of a big boss at Qin family's house, and even smoke, looking at grandpa's and father.in.law's complexion, I reckon that they are wishing that they could kick him out of the house right now. What did you just say? Yi Hua asked indifferently. Long Outyan had seen before people who act cool, but he had never seen one that actually acts cool that much. This kind of big boss sitting posture, even I also don't dare to assume that posture at Qin family's house. Qinya paid you to come and anger me, right? Long Outyen asked once again. Countless ways of eliminating Long Outyen appeared in Yi Hua's mind. Do you think that we are playing house together right now? Childish. Yi Hua blew out a mouth of smoke and said indifferently. Qinya was eating tangerine and watching Yi Hua act cool. When she heard what Yi Hua said, she laughed and said, he is indeed childish. Yi Hua looked at Qinya and said coldly, I am talking about you. Huh, big sister, so you are also very childish too. After Qin Yutong finished speaking, she felt that something felt wrong. It feels like I shouldn't have said it like that, it sounded very strange. Chapter 23, Needle of Speaking the Truth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qinya's face turned cold. This fellow is trying to start a problem, I will tolerate it for now. Qin Qingren shook his head, I really cannot tolerate the way this young fellow speaks. Hua Xian, let's go out and have a chat, it is stuffy here. Alright, Dad. Qin Huaxian said displeasedly. If this guy wasn't brought here by my daughter, I would have long kicked him out of the house, this guy is just too impudent already. In a moment, only 4 people were left in the living room. Long Outyen sneered and said, what benefit did Yer give you, for you to actually pour out that much effort? To speak the truth, Yi Hua did not want to answer such a stupid question, you ask her yourself. Qin Yutong went into a daze. This man sure is interesting, where did big sister found this weirdo from? Oh, I bought him for an entire lifetime. Qin Yit seemed very calm, just as if she had bought a dog. This arrogant woman, to even have the thought to buy me for an entire lifetime, if not for the child in your stomach, I would have long. Long Outyen laughed sinisterly, since you all are not willing to speak, I will just have to make you all speak by force. Needle of Speaking the Truth. The characteristics of this needle were that it was extremely quiet, and even if it was shot towards a person's little bird, the person also wouldn't be aware of it. Furthermore, the needle was colorless and odorless too, it was an essential for Long Outyen to have when he leaves home. Long Outyen could be seen flinging his index and middle finger, and a thin silver needle was shot towards Yi Hua. At this moment, Yi Hua wanted to smash open this man's head. To even dare to plot against me, but after thinking about it, I cannot kill people. If I were to kill now, my 5 years of hard work would all be wasted. However, Yi Hua felt somewhat unexpected that this man actually knew some small tricks. The feeling of novelty is here again. The silver needle that was in the air suddenly shot backward to Long Outyen, just like the bullet during that night. Long Outyen totally did not know what just happened, because this needle of speaking the truth could not be felt by others. Long Outyen laughed in his heart, I am going to expose this repulsive face of yours. Haha, there will be a day that I, Long Outyen, will possess all the most beautiful women in this world, including the 2 of you. When that time comes, I will set up a harem chamber, and I will pick a different woman every night, ha 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 ha, I am just too outstanding, let me stretch my waist for a moment. Long Outyen said vehemently, acting as if he was number 1 under the heaven. Pervert. Pervert. Qinya and Qin Yutong said indignantly. I didn't expect that this Long Outyen would be even more arrogant than Yi Hua, to even want me and my sister to be a member of his harem chamber, go to hell. Long Outyen was stupefied, what is wrong with me? My mouth is not listening to me. Let me tell you all, it is you guys' blessing that I Long Outyen have an eye for you all. I am an immortal doctor, do you all know just what an immortal doctor is? Immortal doctor is the kind of people that can cure people with his left hand, and kill people with his right hand. Long Outyen hurriedly covered his mouth, why did I say out my biggest secret? Could it be needle of speaking the truth? Incorrect. I had already shot out the needle just now, why was I the one who spoke the truth? I must not speak anymore. I definitely must not speak anymore, their impression of me is done for already. Just who is the one plotting against me in secret, is it this guy who has a handsome appearance? But that is impossible. Could it be that there was a problem when I flung out the needle? Yeah, that must have been why. Qinya and Qin Yutong took a look at each other. There is a problem with this guy's head. Yi Hua smoked silently. Long Outyin. The name is indeed resounding, just that the person is a bit stupid. Long Outyin wants to say, I am not stupid. Qinya, tangerine. Yi Hua said indifferently, he was still very minding about Qinya peeling the tangerine for her grandpa just now. Qinya said in disdain, don't you have hands? Brother.in.law, you want to eat tangerine. I will help you peel. Qin Yutong swiftly picked up a tangerine as she starts slowly planning out her scheme. Qinya snorted. She seemed as if she didn't mind, but her eyes kept glancing towards Qin Yutong. Long Outyin covered his mouth. He wanted to talk, but at the same time, he was afraid that he would speak out things that he doesn't want to speak, and thus was only able to stare at them. Brother.in.law, here, a tangerine that was personally peeled by an international celebrity, TSK, it could definitely be sold for a high price. Meanwhile, Qin Yutong looked at her big sister's expression and felt that there was definitely something fishy between Yi Hua and Qinya. Learn more from her. Yi Hua took the tangerine and said towards Qinya. Big sister, did you hear that? Learn more from me. Long Outyin couldn't stand it anymore. Enough. I, Long Outyin, am the leading role, you are all mine. Mine. At this time, Qin Qingren and Qin Huaxian walked inside and Qin Qingren asked in a deep voice, what's the matter? What thing is yours? Qin Yutong's eyes could be seen turning red as she stood up and jumped into her grandpa's embrace and said with grief, Grandpa, this Long Outyin is not satisfied with just having big sister, he even wants me to be his woman too, boohoo, he is just too much. Qinya laughed. This little sister of mine is still the same as when she was small, to always like to mess around with other people. Yi Hua silently looked at Qin Yutong's performance. Is a mere Long Outyin worth it for you to drop your tears? Childish. Outyin, what is going on? Seeing that her daughter was crying out like that, as a father, Qin Huaxian immediately questioned. Long Outyin, Qin Qingren also felt that the Long Outyin today was very strange and said in a deep voice, Outyin, how will you able to speak if you cover your mouth like that? What else, he is just stupid. Qinya suddenly said. Long Outyan's eyes were filled with bloodshot. Why did everything become like this? What should have happened should have been me defeating this guy who is acting cool, and getting the elders' cheers and heart of the two beautiful women afterward. Why did it all become like this? No, Long Outyin shouted out. The effect seemed to have expired. Just what is going on? Qin Qingren asked solemnly, although Long Outyin is indeed quite a decent young guy, but if there is a problem with his moral character, I will have to think over it again. Long Outyin explained hurriedly, Grandpa Qin, it is not as you think, we were only just joking just now, I'm really sorry, I didn't expect Qin Yutong to take the joke seriously. Qinya crossed her arms and sneered, dare to say but don't dare to admit. That's right. Qin Yutong said in agreement. Those two women currently had the same enemy, and thus joined up together. A bright idea suddenly occurred in Long Outyan's mind and he could be seen apologizing, I'm sorry, I admit my mistake. Qin Qingren and Qin Huaxian more or less understood the situation, seems like it was those two girls messing around again. Alright, it is about time to eat. Qin Qingren smiled benevolently. In actual fact, he was still very fancy of this grandson.in.law of his. Qinya stood up and did not say anything, and as for Qin Yutong, she looked at her big sister and felt that there would definitely be a show to watch later on. As for Long Outyin, he was staring at Yi Hua. This man is too ruthless already, not sure just where did Qinya hire this actor from, this demon king aura that he is acting out is quite good, just him merely sitting there in smoke, it feels that he is very cool, perhaps I can also imitate him. Qinya held onto Yi Hua's arm, and walked towards the dining room with the others. This action made the elders felt very unpleasant, and Long Outyen almost flung out another needle of speaking the truth again. I have not even enjoyed this kind of treatment, and that man actually shows forth such an indifferent look. This guy is too able to act. If it was not for my needle-flinging skills being not up to standard, today would have been your judgment day. Suddenly, Qin Qingren's footsteps came to a halt. Looking at a painting on the wall, he smiled. Outyen, look at this painting, I bought it a few days ago. Chapter 24, Promise me one small condition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yihua sized up the painting indifferently. This is a bit interesting, he actually bought a fake painting. Qinya also saw the painting. The painting was the same as the one that was hung inside Yihua's bedroom. It was Pablo Picasso's work, Garçon à la pipe. Long Outyen laughed lightly. It is finally my turn. Grandpa Qing sure is a nice person, creating an opportunity for me to cool. Long Outyen could be seen observing the painting attentively, then crying out in surprise, could it be that this is Pablo Picasso's work? Outyen sure is remarkable. Qin Qingren was very satisfied. Secretly taking a look at her own granddaughter, he discovered that she did not have any reaction at all. Long Outyen continued and said, this painting was created in the year 1905, it is one of the representative work of Picasso's Rose period, and it is even praised by critics that it possesses the same mysterious feeling that Leonardo da Vinci's work, Mona Lisa, possessed. In the end, it was sold at an auction that was held in London at the sky-high price of $100 million. Qin Huaxian smiled, this son-in-law of mine is experienced and knowledgeable too. Qin Qingren smiled to the point that his eyes were squinted into a line, as he praised, seems like Outyen's understanding towards painting is very deep it is very rare for young people these days to have this kind of capability. Long Outyen was feeling super great, seemingly as if he had already seen the look of adoration those two sisters had on their face. You are flattering me, I just understand a bit about painting, that's all. However, the value of this kind of paintings are getting higher and higher. I'm not sure just how much Grandpa Qing paid for the painting. Not much, only 150 million. Long Outyen was astonished, isn't this Qing family just too well off already? To actually just place a painting that is worth more than a 100 million like this in the corridor. Doesn't this mean that, in the future, I will be basically lying within a huge pile of money? Just thinking about it is making me feel so excited. Look at that guy that has a foolish expression on his face, I reckon that he hasn't seen such an expensive painting in his life. Mr. Yi, I'm not sure if you have any wise opinions about this painting. Long Outyen asked with a smile, evidently having the intention of letting Yi Hua make a fool out of himself. Qinya went into a daze, as she thought to herself, Yi Hua wouldn't say that this painting is fake, right? It's fake. However, Yi Hua said what exactly Qinya thought he would say. After finished speaking, everyone all went into a daze, including Qinya and Qin Yutong. Long Outyen felt great. Act more. Look, now you have finally acted to actually say that the painting is fake, ha. Yi Hua, don't anyhow say. Qinya pulled onto Yi Hua's sleeve and said in a small voice. Grandpa personally likes to collect famous paintings, and yet you actually say that the painting is fake in front of him. Grandpa will definitely not feel happy about it. Grandpa being unhappy towards you is definitely not a good thing towards our future. It must be said that Qinya was already thinking very far off in the future. After all, right now, they were already husband and wife, and even have a baby too. If not, were they really going to divorce in the future and let the child grow up in a single family? Qinya could not bear with letting her child grow up in an environment like that. It would perhaps be a bit unfair for me, but it is nothing much, since in any case, I will also have to find a husband in the future. Although Yi Hua likes to act like a big boss, his heart is still counted as good. After all, he actually practically donated all of his money to charity and was only left with $2. Why do you say that, Mr. Yi? Long Outyen asked hurriedly because Qin Qingren's face was already black. Yi Hua really wanted to smack this insect with his palm, this guy sure is long-winded. But I cannot make a move myself, I will let Lai Gu or Wei Chang deal with him later on. The consequence of me making a move myself is too horrible to contemplate. Yi Hua was too lazy to explain, Qinya knows. Everyone all looked towards the dazed-out Qinya. Qinya was having a headache, this man actually pulled me down into the water with him, I have never seen such a bad man before. Big sister, you also think that this painting is fake? Qin Yutong asked curiously. Qinya knew her little sister was going to attack her while she is down, the alliance that was formed just a while ago immediately crumbled. Yi Hua has a same painting hang up in his room. Since it has come to this point, I will just have to help Yi Hua. If not what, say that Yi Hua is wrong. Yi Hua felt somewhat unexpected. When this woman saw the painting in my room, this wasn't the expression that she had on her face. However, this expression of hers, it isn't bad. Long Outyen laughed, Qin Qingren and Qin Huaxian also laughed. Shaking their head, they did not say anything and continued walking towards the dining room. Qin Yutong pouted her mouth, there is something wrong with big sister's condition today, isn't she being too protective of that man? Wait a moment. Room. Big sister went into this man's room before. My God. Qinya slowed down her footsteps and said in a low voice, Yi Hua, later on when we are eating, can you please not anyhow speak? You said that you will listen to me. What an ignorant woman. Promise me one condition. Yi Hua said indifferently. You. Qinya's lung was about to burst with rage, this guy is actually talking about condition with me. Say. Qinya, who had no other choice, decided to admit defeat for now. After listening to Yi Hua's request, Qinya loudly scolded Yi Hua for being shameless to the extreme, to actually want me to do that kind of thing, scoundrel, bastard, taking another inch when you are already given an inch. Bearing with her the pain in her chest, Qinya said coldly, all right, I promise you, if you dare to anyhow speak again. Be at ease, I will keep my promise. There would be something wrong with me if I believe you. Qin family's dining room was also exceptionally big, the people who were preparing the meal were all top-notch chefs within the country, and at the side, there were even maids to attend to the members of Qin family and guests, this was practically just like the lifestyle of an emperor. Yi Hua lamented a little, thinking back to the past, I also lived like this, but who would have thought that right now, the more that I live. Whether if my life is getting better, or becoming worse, I myself am also not sure which is it. Those utensils are all produced from Europe, and looking at the design, those utensils must be royal products. Seems like this Qin family is indeed rich to an insane point. Wang Muqing and Zi Han carried Grandma Mei Xuanhuan to the dining room. When Mei Xuanhuan saw Yi Hua, she could be seen immediately shouting, grandson. Law, when are you going to have a child with Yutong? Grandma is still waiting to carry a great grandson. Yi Hua did not speak. If that woman wants to get my lineage, she still has to go and continue training her temperament first. Not just any woman is able to get pampered by me. Qinya being able to bear my child is just an unexpected accident. Grandma, he is my brother. Law. Qin Yutong somewhat could not stand it anymore, let alone the others. The others could only smile awkwardly, after all, Grandma's sickness was just like this. Qin Qingren sat on the main seat and laughed, everyone, sit down and eat. In Yi Hua's mind, he was thinking back, just how many years has it been since I sat on the lower seats, who would have thought that because of this foolish woman, I am sitting on the lower seats right now. If this image was to get spread out, it would be a disaster. At that time, I will have no choice but to kill all of them to prevent it from getting spread out furthermore. Without a doubt, Qinya sat beside Yi Hua, to prevent Yi Hua from babbling out nonsense. Yi Hua was truly a man who made other worries. As for Qin Yutong, she sat on the other side of Yi Hua. This brother. Law sure is interesting, it feels like he has Big Sister tightly grasped in his hand. Long Outyen sat across Qin and Yi Hua, and his face did not look very good. Why is that man able to have two beautiful women each sitting at both of his sides, and yet there is not a single beautiful woman sitting beside me? Wang Muqing was able to see that Long Outyen was feeling unhappy, and thus took a glare at her daughter and said, "Qin, sit together with Outyen." "Mom, I am a woman who has a husband, how can I sit together with other men? Yi Hua will get angry." Qin said calmly. Qin Huaxian shouted with a deep voice, "Enough. There must also be a limit to how much you are going to act." Qin pouted her mouth, did not explain anything, and also did not stood up. In any case, she was not going to move from her seat. As for Qin Qingren, he was carefully sizing up Yi Hua. "The feeling that this man gives me is very strange, there is a trace of disdain within his calmness, and a trace of arrogant aura within his indifference. If he is an actor that Qin hired, isn't his acting skills just too good already?" Chapter 25, How Could I Long Outyen Get Cucked? You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Yutong, how long do you intend to stay this time? Zihan asked with concern, for her daughter to not be at home all year round, she missed her very much. Yutong spread out her hands, "Since I have gotten the Oscar trophy, I don't have much to pursue anymore, so I have decided to retire and enjoy life." Qin Huaxian was very gratified, "You should have long done that. Come and work at Dad's company alright." "I don't want to, if I am going to work at the company, I am going to go work at Big Sister's company at the least." "What do you say, Big Sister?" Qin Yutong was really intending to retire from the entertainment industry. Qin Yuten was a woman who likes challenges. During the moment when she had gotten the Academy Award for Best Actress, she had already decided to retire. "Whatever you want." Qin said indifferently. Long Outyen felt that his chance has arrived. "Qin Yutong is definitely going to be a member of my harem, just thinking about being able to sleep with a best actress in the future is enough to give me goosebumps all over my entire body." Qin Qingren suddenly thought of something and reminded, "Long'an City is a bit chaotic those days, Yaya, Yutong, you two be careful a bit." "Grandpa, what's going on, did something happen?" Qin Yutong asked curiously, after all, she only just came back today. "An international hit. Man died yesterday night." Qin Qingren said unhurriedly. Qin wrinkled her brows, "Where did the hit. Man die at?" "I think it was at the building that is at the opposite of He River. Opposite of He River, Yi Hua and I were even taking a stroll there yesterday night." Qin wrinkled her brows and took a look at Yi Hua. "Mr. Yi, what do you work as?" Qin Qingren asked. Qin hastily snatched to answer, "Yi Hua is the owner of a bar." Qin Yutong went into a daze, "The boss of a bar, this plot is not bad." Wang Muqing and Zihan were a little displeased, seemingly not having any good opinions towards a person that opens a bar. "How could my daughter have mingled with a person that opens a bar?" Long Outyen mocked, "Opening a bar is quite good, there are prospects in opening a bar. I reckon that there should be quite a lot of beautiful women at the bar during the night, right? Yi Hua has decided, I will definitely swat this housefly to death." "Long Outyen, don't think that I don't know about the things that you are doing in the company, what is going on with you and the Director of Human Resources?" Long Outyen was astonished, how did she know about that? The Director of Human Resources does indeed have an affair with me. But, that woman is indeed very charming. And what's more, I conquered her with my charm. Qin, you misunderstood, there is nothing going on. Long Outyen hurriedly explained, I must have definitely been discovered when I went to her house. Qin sneered and said towards her family, this is the person that you guys fancied, coming to the company for not even a week, and he has already had an affair with the Director of Human Resources. You sure are formidable, to be able to swindle a director into your hands as a security guard. As expected of an immortal doctor indeed, embracing beautiful women with both hands, huh? The gazes of Qin family all gathered on to Long Outyen, seemingly wanting to confirm if this matter was really true or false. Qin, you misunderstood, AI Bihan is a single-parent mother, what problem is there with me helping her out for a bit, isn't the company's slogan, to be united. I didn't expect that it would create a misunderstanding like this. It doesn't really matter for a man like me, but how would others look at AI Bihan? Aren't you forcing AI Bihan to resign by saying that? Long Outyen said those words vehemently, portraying himself as a super nice guy, and portraying Qinya to be the kind of person to deliberately make trouble without reason. Long Outyen was still nonetheless someone that has brains. Qinya, how could you look upon your subordinate like that? Xuanhuan said displeasedly. Qin Corporation and Qinya's Qin International were two separate companies, but Xuanhuan had taught Qinya since she was small that, only by treating your subordinates well, then would they be able to repay you. Qinya was a smart woman, she knew that since she did not have any evidence to show right now, whatever that she was going to say was going to be meaningless, and would only furthermore set their mind that she was deliberately making trouble without reason. Big sister, did Long Outyen really did dirty things under your eyes? He is being too much already. Qin Yutong helped her big sister to cry for injustice, however, who knew if she meant it or not. Qin Yutong's mother, Zi Han, reminded, Yutong, speak less. Qin Qingren seemed a little jittery, alright, all of you speak less and start eating, serve the dishes. Yi Hua, on the other hand, had a face of indifference, I am not interested in listening to this kind of small things. However, I am a little curious about the dishes that will be served. Delicious dishes were brought to the dining table in succession, and Yi Hua immediately had his eyes on the bowl of crayfish. Qinya immediately became startled, feeling that this fellow was going to bring forth the arrogance of a big boss. She immediately said in a low voice, I will peel it for you. And that crab over there too? Yi Hua said indifferently. Qinya was angered to the point that she laughed, just you wait, there will definitely be a day where I will get my revenge on you. The scene that unfolded next made everyone present to have their jaws dropped. Qinya, this strong woman, actually didn't start eating, and instead first peeled seafood for this man to eat, and furthermore even had a smile on her face. Is this still the Qinya that I know of? Qin Qingren was stupefied, Qin Huaxian went into a daze, Wang Muqing was stunned, Zi Han was stunned, Qin Yutong had a face of astonishment, and Grandma Mei Xuanhuan, on the other hand, had a face full of smile. Holding on to the chopsticks, the veins on the back of Long Outyen's hands could be seen bulging a bit. Why is this man able to have Qinya peel crayfish for him, and furthermore not even have a bit of gratitude at all, seemingly as if everything is normal? Qin Qingren felt that something was wrong. If my granddaughter hired an actor, she would not definitely act like this. That expression of hers when she is peeling the crayfish seems to even have the meaning of trying to curry favor with the guy. Just what is going on with my granddaughter? Wang Muqing could not take it anymore and said in a deep voice, Qinya, peel a few crayfish for Outyen too. He is not worthy. Qinya placed the crayfish meat that she peeled into Yi Hua's bowl, and Yi Hua calmly picked up his chopsticks and picked up the crayfish meat. Everything seemed that harmonious. Long Outyen's hands that were under the table were both clenched tight into a fist. No matter where I went, others would always respect me, except for just today. This is a day of humiliation. Qin Huaxuan's was not able to suppress his anger anymore as he shouted out, Qinya, you better explain to me just what you are doing today. Qinya wiped her hands, then took out a certificate from her bag and straightforwardly threw it on the table. Without waiting for everyone to react, Qin Yutong immediately went up and snatched the book over, then shouted out in astonishment, Big sister. You are really married. This isn't a fake, right? Qin Qingren's brows wrinkled and said in a deep voice, Qinya, what is the meaning of this marriage certificate? Whatever that is shown is whatever that I mean. Qinya appeared to be very calm, she had already imagined this scenario countless times in her mind. Qinya once again took out a paper from her bag and threw it on the table. This was a succession attack, an attack that the others was unprepared for. Qinya's title of cold CEO did not come from nothing. Qin Yutong snatched it away first again, and her eyes revealed out astonishment, Big sister is playing it big this time. Wnag Muqing took over the paper from Qin Yutong, and after finished looking at it, she had the same expression as Qin Yutong, as if she was struck by a lightning. After everyone finished looking at the paper, the scene became completely silent, and the air seemed as if it froze. Qinya actually gotten a marriage certificate with this man, and even has a child too. My God! Long Outyen's expression was changing every second, totally not being able to accept this kind of ending. How is it possible that Qinya has a child? Those are all fake. How could I get cucked? I am Long Outyen. Qinya, tell me, all those are all fake, right? Those are all made up by you just so that you can anger me. Long Outyen was still struggling, his ordinary face was twisted to a point that it was a little scary. Yihua took a look at Long Outyen. I have seen this kind of expression too many times already. This is the expression one has when they are not willing to accept the truth that is in front of them. Chapter 26, I Long Outyen have to not let down this name. 1/2 You are listening at Novel Full.audio. It is all real, Yihua is my husband, and we have a child already. Qinya said indifferently. Alright, Yaya has a child already. Mei Xuanhuan clapped her hands and shouted, just like a child. Bang! Qin Qingren slammed onto the table and left in anger. Qin Huaxian coldly shouted, I don't have a daughter like you, get lost now. Just nice, I also don't want to have a dad like you. Qinya said, but only she herself knew just how pain her heart was. Yihua, let's go. Yihua paused for a moment, so long as Qinya wants, I can eliminate all of them and help prevent. Yeah. Looking at her daughter's departing figure, Wang Muqing hurriedly shouted. Qin Huaxian coldly said, I forbid you to call out to her, if not, you can leave the house together with her. Huaxian, Qinya must have definitely been bewitched by that man. Don't plead for her anymore, this is Qin family's misfortune. I, Qin Huaxian, will just take it as I have never had a daughter like her. Qin Yutong poured a small glass of wine for herself and drank it all in one gulp. Big sister is just too formidable, this move of her is really awesome. Uncle Qin, I will leave first. Long Outyen could not continue sitting down anymore, his entire body felt as if it was going to explode. This damn Qinya, to actually cuckold me. Qin Huaxian said with pain, Outyen, uncle has let you down. Long Outyen was also a person who has his own pride, he turned around and left straightforwardly. Qin Huaxian sighed, such a promising young man is let off just like this, let me take a look at my small daughter. Dad, don't look at me, do you believe that I will also be like big sister and just casually find a man to have a child with? Qin Yutong did not know just what her dad was thinking about and said immediately in order to cut off his thoughts. Zi Han shouted, Yutong, speak nicely to your dad. Forget it, I'm leaving too, bye-bye. Qin Huaxian was angered to the point that he held on to his chest and mumbled, family's misfortunes, why did I give birth to daughters like this, not one of them doesn't have to be worried about, it would be great if we had a son. Wang Muqing and Zihan took a look at each other, and was totally filled with helplessness. At the outside, Long Outyen sat inside of a Passat and smoked ferociously. This matter definitely cannot be let off like this. I will return today's humiliation in folds in the future. Yihua and Qinya, just both of you wait. I still have that engagement letter with me, since I cannot get Qinya, there is still Qin Yutong available. Although she does not intend to continue working in the entertainment industry, her fame is still very big right now, letting her be my big wife is not counted as throwing face. Just that, I must properly show off my capabilities today, not only do I have to let Qinya regret, I also have to let Qin Yutong fall for me. Thinking up to here, Long Outyen picked up his phone and looked for Jiu Ye's number and called the number. When the call got through, Long Outyen laughed and asked, Jiu Ye, how is the prescription that I opened for you? Jiu Ye's forthright voice rang out from the phone, oh, so it is little brother Long Outyen, you don't say, after I used the prescription that you opened for me, doing it 3 times in one night is not a problem for me, it is as if I have become the young man that I was back then. Jiu Ye, I have a better prescription here. If Jiu Yi you use the prescription, I guarantee that you will be able to do it for an entire night, and all the ladies will definitely be begging for mercy. Long Outyen grinned. Oh. Little brother Long Outyen, this isn't sincere of you, to only tell Jiu Yi now. You misunderstand Jiu Yi, I had only also just recently discovered this prescription. With how smart Jiu Yi was, he immediately knew that this youngster had something to request from him. Speak, what is it? Jiu Yi, I want you to help me for a bit. Listening to Long Outyen's recount, Jiu Yi felt that what Long Outyen wanted him to help with was to simply send his people to rob someone, and afterward, Long Outyen will come out and save the person that was being robbed, a typical hero saving a beauty plot. Small matter. Thank you Jiu Yi, I will send you the license plate number in a while, the position will be at the Fork Road of North Suburbs. Long Outyen stretched his neck around, it is time for me to use my strength later on. Alright, leave it to Jiu Yi. After hanging the phone, Long Outyen looked towards Yihua and Qinya and clenched his fist tight. I, Long Outyen, have to not let down this name of mine. The day where I grow and become strong will be the day of you guys' judgment day. At the other side, Jiu Yi made a phone call to his own underling, call some people to go act out a show later on. Jiu Yi, what kind of show? Hero saving a beauty kind of show, I will send the license plate number and address to you later on. Jiu Yi said. Who is the hero, we have to know so that we know who to be easier on. Jiu Yi went into a daze, a youngster that appears to be classy and also a bit handsome. Alright Jiu Yi, classy and handsome, understood. The show has to be acted out realistically, do you understand? Jiu Yi, you can be at ease, I guarantee that others will not be able to tell that we are putting on a show. After hanging up the phone, the underling immediately gathered 10+ people and headed towards the north suburb. Chapter 26, I Long Outyen have to not let down this name. Two halves at the villa, Yihua looked at the obstinate Qinya and his tone became a bit gentler, are you okay? Don't need you to care. Qinya, who was currently in a fit of anger, was a bit heavy on her tone, which made Yihua felt very angry, this woman definitely cannot be given any face. Yihua was also too lazy to care, you just have to obediently give birth to the child. Sitting into the front passenger seat, Yihua said, drive the car, time to head back. Qinya glared fixedly at Yihua, seemingly saying, forget about it that others are bullying me, but even you are also going to bully me too. Big sister, brother. In law, wait for me. Qin Yutong could be seen dragging her suitcase and waving her hand towards Qinya and Yihua. Qinya sighed, if I had known earlier, I would have just listened to Yihua and drove the car and left. What are you trying to do? Qinya asked in a deep voice. Qin Yutong spread out her hands, what else am I trying to do? I am of course coming to stay with my big sister. Qinya's brows wrinkled, isn't it fine staying at grandpa's and grandpa's place? If you are not used to staying here, big sister will open a room at a hotel for you, or perhaps buy a house for you. Big sister, we have not lived together for a very long time already, can't you just do a good deed and take in your little sister? Qin Yutong shook her big sister's arm and entered into acting cute mode. Qinya wouldn't be fooled by Qin Yutong, after all, she had already been fooled countless times by Qin Yutong when she's small. I will make a call and arrange things for you. Seeing that it was useless to plead to her big sister, Qin Yutong immediately started pleading to Yihua, who was smoking at one side, brother. Law, speak in something good for me please. Isn't it just a matter of having one more bed, what is there to be long-winded about? Yihua said impatiently, for this kind of small matter, what is there to be long-winded about for? Qinya immediately became stupefied, just a matter of having one more bed. Do you think that it is as simple as having one more pair of chopsticks? Qin Yutong immediately threw her suitcase into the car's trunk, sat into the back passenger seat, fastened her seatbelt and remained still obediently. Her sitting appearance was simply just like that of an obedient model student. I originally thought that it would be very boring after retiring, but in the end, I discovered that big sister actually had a child with a man, and was even married to the man too. There is nothing that is more interesting than this. Within this story, just is it the distortion of human nature or is it the depravity of morals? Both of you. Come down, both of you. This is my car. Qinya, who was flustered and exasperated, was speaking incoherently. Yihua said indifferently, I'm not coming down. If brother.in.law is not coming down, I am not going to come down too. Qin Yutong said with a pitiful expression. She was not a best actress for nothing. The both of you sure are good, both coming to anger me, huh? Qinya was feeling very angry. Sitting into the car, and not even fastening her seatbelt, she stepped onto the gas pedal with all her strength. This was the tempo of intending to perish with everyone that was in the car. Chapter 27, Why Did You All Leave? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 27, Why Did You All Leave? However, Yihua and Qin Yutong was very calm and collected, totally not afraid at all. Long Outyen, who was at the back, hurriedly drove the car and followed after them. I didn't expect that Qin Yutong would not drive her own car. Seems like there is a change to the plan. It shouldn't be too late to inform them about it now. Yihua, who was in the car, opened his mouth and said, remember the thing that you promised to do during tonight. Without waiting for Qinya to reply, Qin Yutong, who was at the back, asked curiously, brother.in.law, what thing did big sister promise you, to even have to do it at night? Wow, you two sure are romantic. Qinya's face was black and did not say anything. Yihua said lightly, you will know what it is when the time comes. My God, it can even be shown to others. You two sure all open. Both of you, enough already. Qinya couldn't help but shout. Suddenly, Qin Yutong cried out in surprise, big sister. There is someone in front. Z. The tires left 2 tire prints on the ground. If the car was not an Audi, the fool that was in front of them would have definitely been run over by the car. Io, my forehead. Qin Yutong rubbed her forehead. Yihua on the other hand had a cold face and shouted, don't you know how to drive properly? I just precisely don't know how to drive properly. What about it? Come bite me then. Foolish woman. Qin Yutong, who was at the back, observed her big sister and brother.in.law quarreling. This is just too interesting. Plus men stood outside of the car. The atmosphere is a bit awkward. Could it be that the people in the car didn't discover the problem? We are blocking the path and robbing you guys. Can you guys show us some face? That's right, just a while ago, at the final moment, this underling just received the latest report, that the Ferrari was changed to an Audi A8. One of the underlings knocked onto the car window, and Qin Yutong, with a jittery face, lowered the window and said, don't disturb, I am watching my big sister and brother.in.law quarrel right now. On the other hand, when the window was lowered, the quarreling sound that was within the car immediately emitted out of the car. Letting Qin Yutong move in with us, is it that you have some sort of idea towards her? So what if I have any idea towards her? Didn't you say that you would send protection over? Listening to them, Qin Yutong was dumbstruck. Big sister, brother.in.law, you all are too bad already. Quickly let me off the car. This is not the car that is headed towards a nursery school. Shut up. Qinya turned her head around and shouted angrily. Qin Yutong pouted her mouth, big sister, you even want to send over protection for me and brother.in.law, you sure are perverted. Scram. Qinya felt that she was about to explode. The 10+ men that were outside the car were listening to them quarrel with great interest. Those people within the car sure are hardcore. Big sister, brother.in.law, and a sister.in.law, their relationship sure is messy. The life of the rich sure is hard to understand. Long Outyen was observing from far away, and discovered that those 10+ men surrounded the car, but wasn't doing anything at all, and seemed to instead be listening to something. After waiting for quite a while, he discovered that those 10+ men were getting more high-spirited to whatever they were listening to. You all are here to work, not here to listen to the daily life of a family. You brazen bunch, what are you all trying to do in broad daylight? Long Outyen could be seen appearing flashily, his vigor was vast, and his entire body emitted out a bunch of positive energy. The 10+ men took a glance at Long Outyen, then took a look at the man that was within the car. After comparing, they felt that the man within the car was classier, and more handsome, and came to the conclusion that Long Outyen was just some random person meddling in other people's business. The few of you, go and settle him, don't let some random guy come over here, I have never listened to such an interesting quarrel. As the big brother and the boss, he ordered 3 people to go and settle Long Outyen. The 3 people left reluctantly. This is all that damned guy's fault, why did he suddenly appear? Long Outyen's brows wrinkled, why are the people in the car still not getting off the car? What meaning is there in me fighting if they don't get off the car? Brothers, just what is going on, why are you all still not asking the people that are inside the car to get off the car? Long Outyen reminded in a low voice. Get off your mom. One of the men swung his fist over to Long Outyen. Long Outyen dodged the fist effortlessly, grabbed onto the man's arm and said hurriedly, brother, I am the person that hired you guys. Boss, help. The man loudly shouted out for help, we have come across a problematic one. The boss looked at the situation, and his temper immediately came, to actually dare to spoil my plan, brothers, attack. Plus men each picked up a club and ran ferociously towards Long Outyen, and Yi Hua who was in the car was also too lazy to quarrel with Qinya anymore and got off the car to take in a breath of fresh air and smoke a stick of cigarette while he was at it. You all, quickly look over there, they are fighting. Qin Yutong cried out in surprise. Qinya snorted, she of course saw it too. Isn't that little brother Long Outyen? He seems quite formidable from the looks of it. Qin Yutong looked around, and at the same time, her mouth never coming to a stop. Long Outyen discovered the situation at that side, they have finally got off the car, and I have finally gotten Qin Yutong's attention, thus, Long Outyen shouted out loudly, Yutong, leave quickly, leave this place to me. What are you saying? I can't hear, Qin Yutong shouted. I'm saying, leave those scoundrels to me, and you quickly leave this place while I'm distracting them here, ah. Long Outyen was distracted for a moment and a fist immediately greeted him. I say, brother, we are only acting, there is no need to be that ruthless, right? The boss shouted, who is acting with you, beat him to death. You all. Don't blame me for not showing mercy then. A strong aura could be seen emitting out from Long Outyen's entire body, and each fist of his was able to knock out each person, it was just like he was a god coming down to earth. Brothers, this guy is a bit ruthless, take out the weapons. The boss said, and 3 men could be seen taking out an AK from the car and shooting chaotically towards Long Outyen. Long Outyen turned pale with fright, if my dragon god technique was cultivated to the peak, how would I even be afraid of those bullets? I wouldn't even be afraid of guided missiles, but right now, I have only just started cultivating, and still can't resist bullets yet, thus, all I can do now is dodge. Yihua flicked the cigarette bud and did not have any interest to continue watching, thus sat back in the car. Qinya also didn't want to watch anymore, this show that they are putting on is too terrible already. Long Outyen, fight on. You can do it. Qin Yutong waved her hand, then sat into the back passenger seat, and afterward, the 3 of them left just like this. Long Outyen was in despair, can you all help at the least help me to call the police? Luckily I had refined 2 ground evading talismans, if not, I am most likely going to die here. Who would have thought that I Long Outyen would have this day too? I have truly ruined the title of immortal doctor. I am an expert who can cure someone with my left hand and killed someone with my right hand, just that, I have yet to fully grown my potential. Ground evading talisman. Long Outyen who was dodging left and right just a moment ago suddenly disappeared, and the bunch of men was stupefied too, just what is going on? The plan was all ruined by this fellow, we are definitely going to get scolded by Jiu Yi when we go back later on, this damned passer.by. Long Outyen, who just used the ground evading talisman, let out a sigh of relief. Looking at the surrounding, such a big hazy fog, I couldn't have come to some mountain right. Ah! Who are you? Hearing the sound of a tender shout, Long Outyen immediately became astonished. So it seems that this is a bathroom. Seems like Long Outyen's luck with the ladies is still normal. This humble one is Long Outyen, not sure just what is this lady's name. The woman was stupefied. Lady, I see that your complexion is flushed red just a while ago, and right now, it is gradually turning white. This is the symptom of your body being weak. If you don't mind, this humble one can help you check your pulse. Scram! The woman let out a shout. Long Outyen fixed his fringe. The plot is always precisely the same. At the other side, the three people who were in the car remained silent, not a single person minding another person. Qin Yutong, who was sitting at the back, sized up the expression of her big sister and brother. Law. They really don't seem to be acting. If they were really acting, I can practically say goodbye to my Best Actress award. Chapter 28, The Underling of an Underling's Underling 1/2. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Very quickly, Qin Ye stopped beside the bar, and with no one bothering the other, all of them straightforwardly opened the car door and got off the car. After Yihua got off the car, before entering the bar, he lighted up a cigarette first. Qin Ye hurriedly shouted, Brother. Law, my suitcase is very heavy, can you help me for a bit? No, Yihua took a puff and said indifferently, without turning his head at all. He walked straight into the bar, leaving alone the stupefied Qin Yutong. This Brother. Law of mine is too formidable, responding in ways that are unexpected. Carrying the suitcase, Qin Yutong walked into the bar and saw that Yihua was mixing a drink at the bar counter. Not caring about the suitcase anymore, Qin Yutong sat on the tall chair and asked with a face full of curiosity, Brother. Law, I want to drink. Get it yourself. I want to drink this glass of yours. Qin Yutong pointed to the glass of wine that Yihua had mixed. Yihua pushed the glass of scarlet color wine that was in his hand towards Qin Yutong. This glass of wine had been spiked by me. If you are not afraid, you can drink it. Tisk, as if I would believe that. Qin Yutong said in disdain and picked up the glass of wine, intending to drink it in one gulp. However, her movement came to a stop. Taking a look at Yihua, this fellow didn't really spike the drink right. I am a pure maiden after all. No, both of them are definitely cooperating together. No wonder big sister even said that she would deliver protection over. Forget it, I don't want to drink it anymore. Qin Yutong said with a smile. Yihua laughed lightly. This Qin Yutong's guts is too small. Qin Ye's guts is bigger than hers. Picking up the glass of wine, Yihua drank it in one gulp. Comfortable. My mood is much better now. Qin Yutong discovered that she was duped and a feeling of defeat raised in her. Thinking about it, I am an international celebrity, and nevertheless, a Best Actress. For me to actually be duped by a handsome guy, this is a disgrace. The paintings you have here sure are nice. Qin Yutong immediately changed the subject to prevent herself from getting mocked at. Ever since I met Brother. Law, I have already been mocked countless times. You want it? You can take any of them if you want. Yihua said indifferently. Qin Yutong sked and said, I don't want it, they are all fake. Yihua remained silent. Women are precisely childish, and also foolish. Placing down the glass, Yihua walked upstairs, because there was a matter that he needed either Lai Gu or Wei Chang to settle. Brother. Law, where do I sleep at? Qin Yutong shouted anxiously. Anywhere you want. Qin Yutong scratched her head. This Brother. Law sure is tough, to be able to be that calm and collected when facing against my enticement. I have to go ask big sister just how did she meet with this weird Brother. Law. Chapter 28, The Underling of an Underling's Underling 2. Arriving at the office, Yihua did not open the television, and instead contacted Lai Gu and Wei Chang. A dog and a human immediately appeared within the office. just that Lai Gu was currently gasping for breath, seemingly that he was doing something right before he appeared in the office. Yi Hua couldn't stand looking at Lai Gu anymore. Is this dragon in heat? Brandishing his hand, Lai Gu disappeared. What remains unseen was deemed to be clean. Your Honor, Lai Gu is becoming more and more like a dog. Wei Chang smiled respectfully. Yi Hua waved his hand. Don't mention about him first. I met someone that made me felt unhappy today. You go and settle the matter for me first. Wei Chang was very confused. To be able to make his honor angry, it seems that only the madam is able to do it. Could it be that his honor's humanity is gone? This is a big matter. I have to properly persuade his honor about this matter. Your Honor, since the madam still does not know your identity, the way she speaks to you may be a little impudent, but you should understand her, Your Honor. This way, you would be able to show your humanity. Wei Chang persuaded with a low voice. What are you talking about? Yi Hua asked coldly. Wei Chang went into a daze. Isn't Your Honor asking me to go and settle off the madam? Yi Hua was angered to the point that he was laughing, holding on to his forehead. He said, Wei Chang, oh Wei Chang, after so many years have passed, why do you still not have any brain? Although I let you go eliminate the Hit.Man organization, but don't you know that there is another way of settling it? Control them, so that they can be of use to us. Every time when I let you go settle things, you would always kill until there is not a single person left. Don't you know how to leave at least one person alive to use as a puppet? With a frightened face, Wei Chang immediately kneeled down. Your Honor, this subordinate is slow-witted. It is like this every time. Yi Hua was speechless. If they were all smarter a bit, we wouldn't have gotten so far as to get ganged up and eliminated by those people. Wei Chang lowered his head and remained silent. Using the old method, as long as I don't speak, his honor's anger will disappear. This person is Qin Ya's fiancé, his name is Long Outyen, his strength is puny, and he calls himself some whatever immortal doctor. Yi Hua said helplessly, to prevent the scenario where Wei Chang was actually foolish to the point that he went to eliminate Qin Ya. Congratulations, Your Honor, congratulations, Your Honor. Wei Chang suddenly had a face full of joy and shouted out. This made Yi Hua to be confused. What are you congratulating me for? Congratulations, Your Honor, to have gotten another kind of human attribute. Oh. What human attribute? Yi Hua asked curiously. Jealousy. After Yi Hua heard what Wei Chang said, he went into a daze. Then afterward, his face became black. Scram, you fool. All of you are a bunch of fools. Wei Chang did not have the slight bit of frightened expression at all. His honor's reaction right now is just like the black-bellied male lead in a TV show, flying into a rage after having his little thoughts discovered. With a smile, Wei Chang disappeared within the black void. It is a good thing that his honor has humanity. Noel and Yi Hua, who had calmed down, opened the TV. Only the Calabash brothers saving their grandpa would be able to let me calm down. Fuck sake. Why are the people around me all a bunch of fools? Forget about it that my subordinates are foolish, but even my woman is also foolish like them. If it was not for forget it. Tolerate. Wei Chang, who disappeared from the office, appeared in his own rented apartment. There was no luxurious furniture, and on the contrary, the furniture was very ordinary. At a second-tier city like Longan City, an apartment like this cost only 1k RMB, 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, and the decorations were also ordinary too. As one of the 7 sins, Lai Gu seems to be very low profile. Wei Chang let out a breath and summoned evil spirit, Death Mage over. Master. Death Mage kneeled down on the floor respectfully, awaiting for Wei Chang's order. Wei Chang poured a glass of water, drank it, and couldn't help but burped. Go kill a person that is called Long Outyen. I will solemnly obey Master's order. Death Mage accepted the order respectfully, and his body immediately disappeared from the apartment, seemingly as if he has never appeared in the apartment before. However, when the Death Mage appeared once again, the place that he appeared at was shining to the point that it could blind a person's eyes. This was a small villa, the decorations were luxurious, and expensive furniture could be seen everywhere. With just a look, one would be able to know that this was the house of a rich person. Death Mage placed his sickle at one side and took a few cans of beer from the fridge. Looking at his movements, it seems that he was used to doing this action. Taking the few cans of beer, Death Mage sat on the sofa and opened the television. Calabash Brothers was not playing on the television, and instead. Score 3-2. Real Madrid soccer team is pulling a comeback. Listening to the emotion-stirring commentating, Death Mage let out a bunch GGG weird laughter that would make one's hair stand on its end when listened to it. GGG, suddenly, he remembered that he still had a proper business that he had to attend to. Death Mage stretched out his hand and shouted faintly, "Death Assassin." A person with a concealed face walked out from the void. His face could not be seen, making it seem very weird. "Master. Go kill a man that is called Long Outyen, there is no information about him, find it yourself." Death Mage said as he opened a can of beer and drank it with his head raised. Just that, the beer could be seen passing through the human skeleton body of his and dripping onto the sofa. However, Death Mage felt very great and even burped. Death Assassin said respectfully, "Understood." After Death Assassin disappeared, Death Mage let out a sigh. It is finally time to work again. Chapter 29, Do you still remember the thing you promised me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right. Every time when there was work to do, Wei Chang would summon Death Mage, and Death Mage would discover that the target was too weak already, and would simply summon his underling to go kill the target. Every time when killing someone, his honor doesn't want the wealth that the target has, thus I would also not be courteous about it and had kept all the money. Right now, I am even living at a villa. Every time when there is work to do, I would sit here and watch soccer and let my underling to go do the work. Just that, watching soccer is also a very vexing thing. If the soccer team that I like loses, it would make me wish that I could burn them all with a fire magic. Just that, the target this time isn't an ordinary person, and is an immortal doctor, Long Outyen. He is the kind of people that can cure people with his left hand and kill people with his right hand. Not sure if Death Assassin will be able to handle him. If you want to ask that, if Death Assassin doesn't even have any information of Long Outyen, how will Death Assassin be able to find him? Then you are looking down too much on Death Assassin. There was quite a number of times where there was no information about the target at all, and Death Assassin was still able to find the target and let the target die from an accident or from other sorts of reason. In any case, he was able to make it seem like the target was not murdered or assassinated, he was simply formidable. Wei Chang also wouldn't have imagined that the underling that he summoned over would actually also summon his own underling to help him do the work. Yi Hua himself also wouldn't have imagined that the underling of his underling would summon another underling to do the work. Can you all not be so lazy? Who did you all learn this bad shortcoming from? Unconsciously, the sun gradually set. Yi Hua took out his handphone and ordered delivery. At the same time, he was thinking to himself, as my woman, this Qinya actually doesn't know such a simple thing like preparing a meal. Doesn't the women of the human race all know how to prepare a meal for men to eat? This Qinya has to be properly taught. I'm just afraid that during the process of teaching her, I would be unable to bear. After ordering delivery, Yi Hua was a bit confused. Why is this woman suddenly so quiet for the entire afternoon? Not being able to bear the curiosity in his heart, Yi Hua walked to the bedroom door and opened the door. Qinya and Qin Yutong could be seen sitting on the bed and watching a movie, and on the bed, all kinds of snacks were scattered around and crumbs could be seen dropped on the quilt. Yi Hua, who had severe misophobia, his anger straightforwardly raised to the top, and the veins that were bulging out from his forehead was horrifying. Qinya, I give you a minute to clean up. And you too. Yi Hua pointed to the two foolish women and shouted. Actually, if it was changed to another man, they would definitely not scold the two women, because right now, the appearance of the two women was very alluring. They were both wearing night clothes. Qinya pouted her mouth. What are you being fierce for? Qin Yutong pouted her mouth. this brother.in-law really likes to start quarreling the moment when something doesn't go his way, truly a big weirdo. The two women tidied up the bed well-behavedly because they themselves also didn't like being messy, they only wanted to disgust Yi Hua for a bit by making a mess, and evidently, they have achieved their objective. Yi Hua walked into the bedroom and took a look. There is actually oil stain on the quilt, I definitely cannot tolerate it. Change the quilt, and the bedsheet too. Also, the pillow too. Yi Hua shouted with a deep voice, they are foolish to the point that my heart feels like it is in pain. Qinya said displeasedly, Yi Hua, enough already, isn't it just a bit of stain? Are you changing it or not? Yi Hua shouted angrily. Qin Yutong was shocked, those two are actually quarreling for real. I thought that we were just joking around, this is just too freaking frightening. Brother.in-law, don't be angry, I will change it. Qin Yutong was quite sensible, whereas Qinya crossed her arms and snorted. Look at your little sister, which point of yours is comparable to her? Yi Hua couldn't help but shout. Qinya went into a daze for a while, then shouted, go find her to give birth to a child for you then, find me for what? After finished speaking, Qinya covered her face with her hands and ran out. Brother.in-law, you are really. Qin Yutong was speechless, who evens personal attack someone else like that, although I am indeed a little bit more capable compared to my big sister. You also didn't have to say it that straightforwardly. Yi Hua, who has a stomach full of anger, wished that he could explode this earth to vent his anger. I only speak a few sentences to her and she ran away in anger. Why are women so troublesome? The helpless Yi Hua had no choice but to chase after Qinya. What will I do if this foolish woman is not able to think straight and suicide together with my child? Pulling on to Qinya, who was about to run out of the bar, Yi Hua said in a deep voice, are you done with causing a scene? Let go of me, I don't know you anymore from today onwards. Qinya had a stern look on her face and her tone was close to below 0 degrees. Qin Yutong hid at one side and observed, those two people are too interesting, perhaps I can go and write a novel myself about them. Even if you don't want to know me anymore, you also have to give birth to the child for me. Yi Hua's tone was the same as Qinya. In the past, all those women who dared to be that arrogant in front of me had all turned into skeletons. This woman in front of me is the only exception. Qinya sneered, I'm going back on my words, I learned it from you. Qinya. Speak properly. Yi Hua looked at the woman in front of him coldly. He discovered that he was at the edge of going berserk, the demon that was in his heart was consuming the humanity within him. Qinya's eyes could be seen immediately becoming red as she sobbed and shouted, I don't have anything to speak properly with you, it is all your fault. You are the most scoundrel man that I have ever seen, even much more scoundrel than that Long Outyan. Brother.in-law, big sister, you both fought all the way from the bedroom until here, haven't you both quarrel enough already? My ears are going to become deaf soon already. Qin Yutong came out to adjust the atmosphere, I have the most experience in adjusting the atmosphere. Shut up. Shut up. Qin Yutong pursed her sexy lips and immediately hid at one side. Looking at Qinya's obstinate expression, Yi Hua's heart softened, but as a supreme overlord, how can I lower my head to a woman? That is definitely not possible. I ordered delivery. Yi Hua said in a light voice, his tone was much calmer than before. Qin Yutong thought that her brother.in-law was going to quarrel with her big sister to the end, and didn't expect that her brother.in-law would actually admit defeat. Haha. This is a bit interesting. Qinya of course also knew that Yi Hua admitted defeat. Finally acknowledged your mistake. Where did that capability of shouting at people of yours go to? Seeing that Qinya was not speaking, Yi Hua spoke beside Qinya's ear, did you forget the thing that you promised me? You. Qinya struck her small fist angrily onto Yi Hua's chest, and Yi Hua held on to Qinya's waist and walked upstairs, leaving alone Qin Yutong who had a stupefied expression. They are done quarreling. Isn't big sister's resistance a bit too low? To actually get pampered after just a few sentences. Those two are weird. Looking at the 10 kilograms crayfishes in front of her, Qinya was a little absent-minded. This shameless scoundrel, to actually want me to help him peel 10 kilograms of crayfishes, and I actually promised him. Look at my tender and delicate hands. After peeling the 10 kilograms of crayfishes, those hands of mine are going to be gone. Yihua sat like a big boss, and looking at the helpless expression on Qinya's face, he felt very happy in his heart. I suddenly discovered that this woman is actually to affect my emotion. This is just too strange. Qin Yutong wore the gloves and took a sip of juice first, then looked at the two weirdos in front of her and asked, "Are you both not going to start eating? Don't mind me then." Towards this sister-in-law, Yihua was okay with her doing anything she wants, but Qinya was different, as my woman, the child's mother. In the future, Qinya will be the biggest woman in the future. If I don't properly educate her now, how will I be able to bring her out to see the world? With how she is right now, it would be a relief if she doesn't throw away all my face. Big sister, what are you being in a daze for? Those crayfishes are not bad, they taste pretty good. I discovered that, after having brother-in-law, my relationship with big sister seems to have become good. It sure is strange. Qinya let out a breath. In any case, I am also a CEO, a woman who honors her own words, unlike Yihua who doesn't honor his own words. Chapter 30, Just Like Twin Sisters 1/2. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Seeing that her big sister herself was not eating and was instead peeling the crayfishes for Yihua to eat, Qin Yutong was dumbfounded. Weren't they quarreling just a moment ago? It was undoubtedly brother-in-law who admitted defeat at first, but why does the situation now seem like big sister admitted defeat instead? Towards the Qinya tonight, Yihua was very satisfied. It feels a bit more like she is my wife now. Gradually, half of the crayfishes were finished. Qinya wrinkled her brows and continued peeling, but right now, her fingers were starting to feel a little bit pain. After all, before today, those two hands of hers were carefully taken good care of by her, and furthermore, she did not have any skills in peeling crayfish. Qinya was just this kind of woman. Whatever that she said she would do it, no matter how hard the process would be. She must also fulfill her own promise. Alright, you can stop. Yihua shouted faintly and picked up the crayfish meat that was in his bowl and passed it over to Qinya. The obstinate Qinya did not give Yihua any face at all as she placed the crayfish meat back into Yihua's bowl and continued peeling. Qin Yutong lightly sighed. Big sister is still as obstinate as always. Yihua did not speak. I seem to have discovered another merit of Qinya. Perhaps she is not that foolish as I thought. Finally, all of the crayfishes were peeled finished by Qinya and Yihua's bowl was filled full with crayfish meat. Looking at her fingers that had turned red, Qinya was very sad. Her fingers sort of felt like they were scorching. Eat a bit. Yihua placed his bowl to the front of Qinya and said lightly. I will count it that you still have a bit of conscience. Qinya took off the gloves, picked up a piece of crayfish meat, mixed it around in the broth, and ate it contentedly. It is really delicious. Yihua silently looked at Qinya. Just a moment ago, she still had a sad-looking expression on her face, but after eating a piece of crayfish meat, she looks as if she is intoxicated. This is truly peculiar. Qin Yutong felt that she was right to follow along with the two of them today. Those two are truly very amusing. Big sister, how about we go out and watch a movie later on? Avengers 3, you know, it's super good. Qin Yutong suggested. Qinya, who was eating the crayfish meat, said faintly, ask him. Brother-in-law, let's go. The movie is super good. When a big celebrity starts acting coquettishly, there is not a man that could resist it. Of course, Yihua was the only exception. Feeling that Qinya's performance was not bad and should be rewarded, Yihua said, okay. Yay, big sister, let's go and prepare. I have to be fully equipped first before we leave, Qin Yutong said excitedly, totally oblivious to the fact that she had already tacitly approved Yihua as the head of the house, having to seek Yihua's approval before being able to do some things. Yi Hua took a piece of napkin and wiped his mouth, then stood up and sat on the sofa. I do not have to speak today and Qinya is already taking the initiative to clean up. I am very gratified, she is heading and developing towards a good direction. Furthermore, after she cleaned up, she also didn't complain too, not bad, not bad. Qinya laughed in her heart, do you feel that I am being a lot more obedient right now? Yi Hua, let me tell you, this is but a false appearance. Scoundrel, to actually dare to make me peel that much crayfishes, I will definitely take revenge on you for this. Chapter 30, just like twin sisters two halves. Since Yi Hua's sister-in-law had to dress and groom up, Yi Hua let her use the bedroom and came to the office to smoke. Not sure if that Long Outyin have been disposed of yet. Evidently, it wasn't going to be that quick. Although Death Assassin had an excellent capability of looking for people, but he also needs time, after all, his strength was not that sickeningly powerful like Wei Chang. After continuously smoking 2 cigarettes, Yi Hua was starting to feel a bit impatient. Is there a need to dress up for such a long time? Do you all think that you all are going to participate in a beauty contest? To actually make me wait for such a long time? Standing up and leaving the office, Yi Hua straightforwardly pushed the door and walked into the bedroom. Qinya could be seen sitting at one side and carefully doing her makeup while holding a makeup mirror with one of her hand. Seeing that, Yi Hua couldn't help but said, you are already pretty enough, is there a need to do your makeup for so long? Qinya paused for a moment, looked at Yi Hua and said faintly, am I really that pretty? Yi Hua wrinkled his brows, this woman likes to ask questions which she already knows the answer of, don't make me answer such a foolish question. Is this question very foolish? The bathroom door could be seen being opened, and another Qinya walked out of the bathroom. Yi Hua was a bit astonished as he looked at the 2 Qinya. They are actually not distinguishable with the naked eyes. This Qin Yutong's makeup skill is really good. However, what can be confirmed is that the Qinya that walked out of the bathroom is the real one, and the one that is still doing her makeup is Qin Yutong. Qinya was using the bathroom just now and heard the conversation between Yi Hua and Qin Yutong. This fellow said that I am pretty, I will count that you are tactful. Knowing how to speak a few words that are pleasant to hear. However, just thinking that my little sister is dressing up as me again, my head is starting to hurt. Actually, the 2 sisters still had a bit of resemblance even though they have different mothers. Both of their height was at around 1.75 m, and there was also not much difference between both of their body type. Adding on with Qin Yutong's makeup skill, since she was able to deceive Yi Hua, there was no need to speak about other people. Right now, when the 2 of them stand side by side, they look just like the same person. Qin Yutong even imitated Qinya's hairstyle and clothing. A simple ponytail, white color T-shirt, slim-fit jeans, pure and not too sexy, especially with the pair of super long legs that the 2 women had, it was simply shining to the point that it was able to blind one's eyes. Yi Hua discovered that this Qin Yutong's acting skills was not bad, being able to perfectly imitate Qinya's expression and demeanor. If I really have to find a difference between the 2, I will have to look at the curve of their chest. Qinya belonged to being normal, and Qin Yutong belonged to being relatively plump. If I don't look at their chest, it is really difficult to differentiate who is who, unless I use my abilities. Why did you dress up as me again? Qinya shouted at the little sister. Back when I was studying, this little sister of mine would always like to dress up as me and do bad things, and in the end, it would always be me having to carry the blame. This little sister of mine is simply bad to the brim. Qin Yutong immediately smiled, and the character that she was imitating immediately collapsed. Holding on to her big sister's arm, she said sweetly, Big sister, we are sisters, it is normal that we look alike, if not, no matter how much I do the makeup, I also wouldn't be able to look completely like you. What's more, if I don't dress up as big sister, who else can I dress up as? Speaking up to here, Qin Yutong started acting a bit sad, her acting skills as a best actress was being shown here again. Although Qinya didn't really like this little sister of hers at all, but at the least, she was still her little sister, and they were blood related. This is the last time. Mwax, Qin Yutong kissed onto Qinya's cheek. Qinya felt very uncomfortable. She discovered that her little sister had changed a lot ever since she came back. Yihua looked indifferently at those two sisters messed around, not having any bits of billow in his heart at all, even if he was faced against such an alluring scene. Let's go. Yihua said indifferently. He didn't like to drag things. Qinya shouted, we are not even in a hurry. As a big man, what are you even being in a hurry for? Yihua remained silent. I really don't want to quarrel with this woman, it will only just pull down my IQ. It was 7 p.m. night right now. Accordingly to the past situations, it was the time where the bar's business would gradually start getting busy. But when Yihua took a look at the bar today, the customers that were in the bar was at least 50% lesser than what he expected. What is going on? Could it be that I am being targeted by someone? Seeing that the boss appeared, all of the women that were at the bar began exclaiming in astonishment, the boss is handsome to the max. But when they saw two beautiful twin sisters walking down form upstairs, their face immediately turned black. In the past, the boss was always alone, although they didn't really hope that they would be able to be together with the boss, but at the least, there was still a bit of hope. But right now, even that little bit of hope was no more. The boss was enchanted by those two twin sisters, and furthermore, those two twin sisters were that beautiful too. Immediately, the women in the bar did not have the mood to continue staying at the bar anymore. In just a few seconds, 5 women stood up and left the bar, and even snorted as they left. Qinya felt extremely great when she saw that. The best would be that you become bankrupt and become deep in poverty. At that time, I will magnanimously provide for you, and I will see if you still dare to be that naughty.